Hi everybody, it's Michelle here. Welcome back to Golf with Michelle. Today I would like to focus on chipping. Not all of us be able to hit the green at all times. So if we could get about 50 to 60% greens in regulation in a round, that's considered pretty good. So how are we going to lower down our scores? It comes down to short game. So today we'll be talking about chipping. First of all, I will show you the basics of the setup, a little bit of the technical part of it, and I would like for you guys to practice as much as possible. All right, most of us have different wedges in our bag. Some of us have the pitching wedge, the sand wedge, and the approach wedge. Some people like to have various of wedges with different degrees. So we do have 60, 58, 56, 54, 52, and 50 degree wedges, right? So what I have is the 58 and 54. I'd like for you guys to have a favorite wedge. So try to just master one or two wedges in the bag first. I would prefer the 58 degree for now. So today I will start off with the basics of chipping. So first of all, we're going to talk about the stance. We know that when we swing our normal golf swing, our stance is about shoulder width and our driver is a bit wider. But for chipping, because we don't need any weight transfer and a little bit of a hip turn, so we can have a more narrow stance. So how wide our stance is supposed to be. So I would like to have it about 2 club face wide. Some people maybe have it a little bit more narrow, about 1 club face wide. This is very individual. Just stand wherever is comfortable for you, but I would like it to be a little bit more narrow. So talking about ball position, right? So when we have the stance about 2 club face wide, I would like the ball position to be more towards the right foot. 1 ball inside your right heel, and the stance is supposed to remain about 2 club face wide. Okay, so when we get the stance sorted out, we'll talk about where our handle is supposed to be. We do not want our handle to be too far forward, too far behind. I would like it to be straight over the ball. Okay, so we don't need to tilt our body for chipping. We just try to keep it as level as possible. Okay, so from here, 2 club face wide, handle over the ball. And one more thing is I would like for you to push the weight about 65% to 70% on the left foot. And the weight remains on the left side throughout the whole chip. It's all about our control and trying to hit it solid and be able to hit the distance we want. We're not trying to hit it far. We're not trying to make a big movement, big hip turn, so we don't have to do anything crazy. Okay, so once again, 2 club face wide, ball position on the right foot, handle over the ball, weight on the left. Our shoulder stays parallel to the ground. Okay, when we get our setup sorted out, all right, we're going to talk a little bit about the swing. So when it comes down to chipping, people might think that a chipping is just a shorter golf swing. But when you think about a shorter golf swing, people tend to, okay, I'm going to start off with a wrist, all right, and just swing it like that. This kind of chip will cause a little bit more inconsistent, and of course some sculling, and of course also some duff shots. So for chipping, we always have to stay connected, all right? So I would like to focus more on the sternum and the core, okay? The lower body stays a lot more stable, and just let the upper body lead and the lower body will follow. So the chipping swing is a little bit similar to the takeaway in our normal golf swing, which is the butt of the club is tucked to the belly, 8 to 4 o'clock, we stay connected. But for chipping, we have to make sure the weight remains on the left side while we are doing this, right? So we have to make sure that the butt of the club is pointing our belly with the weight on the left side and staying connected. There's another way to think of how to stay connected when you chip. So this is another way that I would like to explain, that when you take your backswing, you can think of bringing the club head higher and then low. So when I take it high, you can see that my butt of the club is actually pointing at my belly, right? When I finish low, the butt of the club is pointing at my belly. But then, if I take it low on the takeaway, you can see that the butt of the club gets disconnected from the body. And then if I do finish it high, then the butt of the club points to the ground. It doesn't stay connected. I'm talking about basic chipping, yeah? So we have to make sure we are consistently staying connected, high to low, okay? You can see that this triangle over here, keep the weight on the left side, high to low, all right? We always have to make sure the handle stays close to us as well. Okay, as for the grip pressure, we don't need to grip the club too tight because we're not going to try to hit it hard once again. So we need to be a lot more relaxed and actually let the club head do the job. Let the club head just release by itself. Just make sure it brushes the ground. Don't try to grip it too tight. When you grip it too tight, sometimes we tend to use our hands a bit more. Then we start to not move our body. We get disconnected and we start topping the ball most of the time. Okay, why it's important that we have our weight on the left side? It's because for chipping, it's really important for us to catch the ball first. We do not want to hit it anywhere behind. If you catch it behind, the ball is not going to go anywhere. And then if we tend to not keep the weight on the left, we're going to start swaying, going back, then we're going to start sculling the ball. So it's really important that we keep the weight on the left side and remain on the left side throughout the whole chip. So if I have the weight on the left side, the backswing will tend to get a little steep, which is this. So if I have the weight on the left side, it's quite hard to bring the club inside. Yeah, I lose my balance, right? So it's easier to bring the club straighter up. So the club should be moving on a straighter line, staying connected with the body if the weight is on the left side at all time. Okay? So now we're going to talk about rhythm, how we're going to make a proper chip. We need to be able to hit the chip consistently on the face, hitting it solid at all time. So when we get a good rhythm and tempo, we'll be able to control the distance better. So I would like you to use the rhythm as like 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's somewhat like putting. So if I have a shorter chip, it's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. When I take a longer backswing, which I have a further chip, it's going to be the same count, 1, 2, 1, 2, but because of a longer backswing, the tempo is going to be a little bit faster. So it's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. And then when it gets longer, it goes 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so once again, set up position, ball towards the right foot, about 2 club face wide, weight on the left, handle over the ball, just stay connected, go 1,